want to be a totally uncensored network. Absolutely. That being said, we have to sort of play the game in a sense with the app stores with, what their regulations are so we don't get kicked off the app store. Down the line, we want to be as uncensored as humanly possible.
We have a right to our life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. To control your life, stand and fight against the massiveness of tyranny, the irony, the withhold constitution for the land of the free. We the people are solutions. If we educate and learn, be aware of the injustice. Tap into your brain, don't let them in your subconscious. Open up your mind, free will for each state. Nothing but the truth, welcome to a teen's take.
To most people, Facebook is a necessary evil. We know that advertisers are targeting us, that governments are collecting our data, and that Zuckerberg is suppressing the reach of our posts unless we pay to play. On the other hand, we must also satisfy our primordial craving to communicate with others. The solution? Minds.com. It's a newly launched encrypted social networking platform backed by the hacktivist group Anonymous that some users are already calling a plausible Facebook killer. Bill Ottman, founder of Minds.com, joins me now from New York City to iron out the specifics. Bill, in an elevator speech, what is Minds.com?
Hey, thanks for having me, Andrew. Minds is a free and open source and encrypted social networking platform that rewards users with viral reach. So that's really the simplest way of putting it.
Alternatives to Facebook like Ello and Diaspora already exist, Bill, but there simply isn't a rate of adoption sufficient enough to replace the technology we're currently using. How is Minds.com different from these other platforms, and will enough users adopt it so as to actually supplant Facebook?
Totally. So Ello is actually a proprietary platform. It's not encrypted. And so for people who don't know what that means, it means that they don't share the source code of their application, meaning that users have no ability to inspect to see if the app has backdoors into their system or really what's going on. Now, Ello does say that they don't want to commodify users and whatnot, but I still think they're kind of missing the point. Now, Diaspora is open source, and so I know a bunch of the guys in Diaspora. They're great people. It's an awesome project. It's a little bit too complicated for people to figure out when they get there. So really what we've been doing with Minds is trying, first of all, making privacy easy. So you sign in, and it's just as easy as any other social network. And having encrypted communications, you wouldn't even know. And we think that it can really appeal to a mass audience because what everybody does seem to care about is getting their voice heard. And what's been happening with the algorithms on top social networks is that they have been manipulating these algorithms so that you can't even reach your own fans. So we, just for voting on content, uploading, sharing, commenting, everything you do on the app, you're earning points. These points are stored in your wallet. You can then use those points to boost your posts for free to totally new audiences. So you do a post, and that will always hit 100% of your friends or followers. The boost is something that you do after you post, which propels it to further audiences. So we will never restrict people's news feeds in the way that current social networks, and like Google search algorithm is pretty weird too. We'll never do that. The boost increase your reach exponentially. So even in the first week that we have launched, there are users that have thousands of followers in the first week, and these are real followers. So it's really quite something what's happening.
You've said that the sites had 60 million plus visits before formally launching just last week, and that the majority of those users are interested in alternative media. So, Bill, in what ways will the Minds app benefit these citizen journalists and their readers or viewers?
For the last couple of years, I've been really involved in the alternative media movement, and we've spent a lot of time on Facebook, and we've been watching firsthand how they have been suppressing really everyone's reach. It's not just alternative media that they've been suppressing, it's big major media brands too. Everybody's pissed about this. So honestly, what's happened in just this first week is people are getting massive virality. I mean, they're driving traffic to their websites. If you post a link to one of your articles, or you upload a video or a photo or whatever. So, I mean, in 1 week, we are getting individual channels are getting greater reach on Minds than they do on Facebook. even with all those fans, because fans are useless if you can't reach them. It's really funny. Facebook actually got caught secretly manipulating algorithms to do mood experiments on users. So they basically proved, they took 1 million users and they injected either quote-unquote positive or negative content and found that they could definitively manipulate users' emotions. So essentially it was mind control what they were doing, and they were doing this with Princeton. They apologized publicly for it because Fight for the Future and other great internet freedom organizations kind of forced them to, and people obviously it was totally unethical.
Finally, explain to viewers how Anonymous is collaboratively quote-unquote hacking the open source code of Minds.com in an ultimate effort to fortify the site's security.
Well, it's been amazing so far. So, Anonymous is obviously a decentralized, leaderless movement of hackers and security researchers and activists, and they have already helped us fix a number of issues by communicating with us, and it's just been incredible. And so right now, if you go to minds.org, you can see the code and the plan for the full code release on there, and we've already had a bunch of pull requests in the repositories for updates, and so it's sort of this amazing collaboration that's happening with programmers all over the world. And so they made this call to designers and coders and activists and journalists and everyone to sort of come together, and the growth has been really incredible so far. And I think it's you can't predict the future, but I think that there's something happening here.